Programming on 90.7 WKGC and the Commodore Sports Network is sponsored by Sweet Bay. Sweet Bay is a bayfront village in Panama City that features parks, walking trails to the water, a future town center, and more. A community connected at the water's edge, Sweet Bay. More information about Sweet Bay online at sweetbayfl.com or 844-35-SWEET.
Welcome, Commodore fans, to Coach's Corner, a production of Gulf Coast State College and the digital media program here at the college. I want to thank the folks over at Sweet Bay for being title sponsor of Coach's Corner. So today, normally Coach Phil Gaffney would be sitting here, but Coach Phil Gaffney's at the airport picking up his wife. So a player from the team, I could say player and assistant coach.
Yes, sir.
Coach Jammy Pierre-Louis will be sitting in for Coach Gaffney today, and we're going to talk about the Commodores. 16-10 overall, 5-5 in the panel conference, and right now ranked 9th in the state coaches poll. So, so welcome, Jamie.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So we're glad to have him. This is an amazing young man, on and off the court. Plays smart. Been with us. Can't say enough good about him, both on and off the court. So I've watched him play for several years now, and enjoyed watching him play. Smart player, a great shooter, makes the Commodores go, and was a big part of our win at Pensacola State. We won 89-73.
Yes, sir.
But 51 points in the first half. That's some pretty good numbers.
Yeah, we know Pensacola, they like to sit in that zone. So the only way you can get a team out of a zone if you're shooting the ball well. So I told everyone, just be ready to shoot today. And they came out ready to shoot. So,
and put up 51 points. That's probably the best I've seen, best half of shooting I've seen out of Commodores all year, and maybe out of most of the teams I've seen from Coach Gaffney.
I would put it up there, definitely.
So in other words, 51 points. Now, 51-32 was a halftime score. Second half, they got us 41-38 for a 89-73 win. But going to Pensacola and playing there, that's a tough place to play, you know. And they haven't had a lot of luck this year, but they've been right in every game.
Yeah.
And so that game was important for us. Let's look at some of the things here. Watson led all scores with 22, Forte with 12, Wilson with 11. Murphy came off the bench and had 11. So it was 3 or 4 from behind the arc. So it was good to see the long ball fall for him. And normally I would be talking about Jamie with higher score, but you had 7 points. But I watched you give up shots that you could have taken and could have had scores there. You're averaging 12 points a game for the season right now. So at that stage, if we look at the shooting numbers, and I was hoping Coach Gaffney was, because y'all shoot poorly from the free throw line.
We definitely do. I could tell you that, all about that.
Sometimes y'all couldn't throw it in the ocean.
Yeah.
And so, but 15 of 19, 78.9% from the free throw line. So
improvement.
If y'all would have shot that consistently throughout the year, you may very well right now be 7-3 or so.
Yeah.
You probably would have won another couple ball games, because we lost in overtime one time. If we could have hit free throws down the stretch, we would have won. And there's been some close games. So, and then here's shooting overall for the night was just outstanding. 10 of 20 from behind the arc, 50%. Half of everything you put up went in.
Yeah, that's great.
So, and then from the floor, 32 of 56 for 57.1%. Can't ask for much better
than that, yeah.
Now, hopefully y'all didn't shoot it all up in this game and don't have anything left for the next 2 games. But at this stage, now, another impressive thing was only turned the ball over 10 times.
Yeah.
Because y'all have been known to turn it over. Now, Pensacola only turned it over 8 times in that side. So if we look at that game. They were 12 of 18 from the free throw line, 66.7, 9 of 19 for 47.4, and 26 of 53 for 49.1. They were shooting well too.
Yeah, they were.
But like you talked about, they set in that zone, and y'all finally saw the gaps and the skip passes and got the shots, and some of those three balls were downtown.
Yeah,
they wasn't even
balls.
at the line.
Trayshawn hit one. That was probably like half court almost.
It's like,
yeah,
where did that come from? So, but we picked up a win that we kind of had to pick up in that game. Any other thoughts on the game?
Pensacola is definitely a team that you have to take seriously. They might not be the most talented out of the bunch, compared to the Northwest, but they're definitely a well-coached, disciplined team that we had to win that game. And
so normally we have a hard time matching up with them because they just have big, solid, thick, space eater post players. But Coach has done a nice job of filling that in with German and Torres and some of them. We now have some big post players.
Oh, yeah.
So they've done a nice job of helping round that out. We only had one game, so it makes this show a little harder to do because you only have one game to talk about.
Exactly.
But now, if we look at the Panhandle Conference standings, Northwest is clinched. They're 8-3. Chapola's 8-3. Gulf Coast 5-5. Tallahassee 4-6, and Pensacola State College 1-9. So now games get to really be important.
Yeah, now they really matter.
Because used to we'd be sitting in a situation where there would be no postseason because two teams from every conference went on. But there's two at-large bids. So there is the opportunity for the third place team in two of the three conferences to get a bid. So that's why Commodore's still in chance here.
Yeah.
But right now, our battle right now is with Tallahassee, and we will finish on the road Saturday against Tallahassee. We got a game before that. On the other hand, it looks like we need to take care of business. If we win both our games, you should get an at-large bid. You get in the state tournament. And we've seen what happens when y'all get in the state tournament.
Oh, yeah, that's fine. So, that's when we really started playing.
So you get in the state tournament, everybody's 0-0. One year we went over there, scratched away, got in, fooled around and won it, and didn't even get to go to Hutch.
That was very sad. I remember that.
I was sad too because all the years of doing it, because it's been 40-something years since Gulf Coast sent a team to the
went back, right?
So at this stage, I was finally excited. We're going to get to go to Hutch to watch the men play.
We would have made a run, so I believe we would have made a run that year.
So in that stage, so close to get there, not get to play. But on the other hand, same scenario. Y'all and our team plays well at Northwest. The arena's got freestanding goals, bleachers behind the goals. Some teams don't play well there, but you and Coach Gaffney's 10-4, 10-5 in that building?
10-3, something like that. Yeah.
So in other words, y'all play well there, shoot well there, and that's where the state tournament's at.
Love it.
So now, this time though, Northwest will be in the state tournament. So. Because they've clinched, they're going to get a playoff berth.
Yeah.
It's at home for them. If we look at the state coaches poll right now, Indian River moved into that first place slot. Chipola is second. Northwest is third. Eastern Florida State fourth. Florida Southwestern fifth. Santa Fe sixth. Polk State seventh. Tallahassee eighth. Gulf Coast is ninth, and Hillsburg is 10th. And show you just how much they respect our conference. Pensacola State receiving votes in that state coaches poll. Any thoughts?
I feel like we're too low.
Well,
I understand the coaches poll though is different than the actual standings.
So yeah, and that's a little different in this. If you look at strength of schedule and that kind of stuff, and some of these teams here, and I'm not taking anything away from the other conferences. But the play in the Panhandle Conference
is different.
It's totally different. And if you can get to the national tournament, you'll have easier games there than you did
in the conference.
The conference.
Yeah.
Because that's how hard it is to play. In the national poll. Now from Region 8, normally we have more than that. Northwest ranked 3 in the country. Florida Southwestern is 10th. Chipola is 13th, and Eastern Florida State receiving votes. Now, here comes the big stuff. We have, and I need to get back here, we have Chipola coming to the Billy Harrison Fieldhouse Wednesday. That's a big game.
Yeah.
Now, on January 17th at home, we beat them 79-74 in what everybody considered an upset. And then when we went up there on February 2nd, we lost 80-76. We were in that game and let it get away. So, and we're talking about a team that's ranked 2nd in the state coaches poll, ranked 13th in the nation right now. So what do you expect from Coach Donnie Tyndall and the Indians of Chipola College?
When it comes to their defense, he's not changing it for anyone. He doesn't care if you're dropping 40, 50. He's staying in that zone. So we just got to be prepared all around for everyone to be shooting. Because last game at Chipola, the first time we played them here, I think I had 6 threes versus them. And second time we played, they just shifted the zone over so that I wouldn't be able to get as many open looks. So that allowed for other open shots on the other side. So if everyone just comes ready to shoot the ball, we should have fun.
Yep.
Got to rebound.
So, but you're right. He's going to set in that zone. You know, back years ago, I was a high school coach, and I'd run that 1-1-3 matchup zone.
Yeah.
And it's tough to deal with because you can't beat people off the dribble because you've got somebody else standing there. But if you pinch one side, send somebody through, your 2 bigs are in the post, they seal, that skip pass to the opposite wing will be wide open.
Wide open.
Because there's nobody there because you take the guy out at the top because there's one in and one out.
Yeah.
And then you have the 3 other players down there, they've got to come and pinch. They've got the front, and when you go back to the top of the key with the ball, you can look inside, and then but you're really looking for that guard
corner,
because when he passes, he goes through, he's out. And then if one of these guys sell out, then you just pound it in.
He's gonna stay in that.
So, you know, but you're right. Now, if the Commodores can shoot like we just talked about, 50% behind the arc, you'll win.
Yeah.
Because you're right, he's never going to come out of it. He'll sit down in that and do that. Now the question is, can the Commodores put up 51 points again?
Yeah, that's the big question.
That's the big question. You know, it looks like Chipola's averaging 80 points a game. So you know, we need to do that and see how that. How is conditioning? Everybody healthy right now? We got folks nagging injuries? Or?
We have like some bumps and bruises, like probably like a sore ankle, or I think Simeon, his knee is a little swollen. That is like a day-to-day kind of thing. But nothing, everyone's back. This is the first time we had our full team in a while, so it's good. So,
all right, so the Commodores in action Wednesday night.
Yes, sir.
5:30 and 7:30 in the Billy Harrison Fieldhouse against the Chipola Indians, and we've been rivalries forever.
Forever, yeah.
And so, and then Saturday we go to Tallahassee and play at 2 and 4, I think, their time. Last time we got all messed up, and everybody got there early. And that's 2 our time, and that's 3 their time, and so that's where it is. Now, we look at that. So you did just like a coach, and I've seen Coach Gaffney say, "Jamie, what do we need to do? What are they doing?" And I do that. But let's switch gears for a little bit. Any prospects on where you're going next year? You still waiting to see?
I'm still waiting to see. I still hold some of the same offers I had last year. A lot of high major D2s, low major D1s. But if we can make a run, there's no point of deciding now. Yeah. Just decide to see if we can make this run first. If we make this run, everyone's getting recruited. Everyone's getting overly recruited, and that's what I'm hoping for.
If you get the hutch, you're right. Yeah, exactly. Everybody will get over recruited. So that's Jammy Pierre-Louis, and we'll be back in just a moment, Commodore fans, with Coach Rory Kuhn and one of his players on the Commodore Sports Network.
Programming on 90.7 WKGC and the Commodore Sports Network is sponsored by Sweet Bay. Sweet Bay is a bayfront village in Panama City that features parks, walking trails to the water, a future town center, and more. A community connected at the water's edge, Sweet Bay. More information about Sweet Bay online at sweetbayfl.com or 844-35-SWEET.
Welcome back, Commodore fans, to Coach's Corner, a production of Gulf Coast State College's digital media program here. We have an addition today. Coach Rory Kuhn's here, and we have Morgan Robinson-Nwagwu, one of our star players. Coach and I talked about we needed to have a little help today because we only have one game to talk about, and normally we talk about two. So, but before we get into that, Lady Commodores right now, 16-9 overall, 5-5 in the panel conference, ranked number 3 in the state coaches poll, ranked number 22 in the NJCA national poll. So that's where we stand at this point. But first off, we'll talk about playing Pensacola. Came up short in that game, a game that it would have been nice to have right now, but we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
But first quarter, 15-9, they outscored us. 11-10, we outscored them. Second quarter, third quarter, 25-21, we outscored them. And in the third quarter, they outscored us 22-19 for a 68-64 loss. And really a tough loss on the road.
Yeah, I mean, any time, like I said, you go, away games, especially in the Panhandle, are always tough. And Pensacola's always historically been a tough place to play. But I mean, obviously we came up short. I think we scored 20 points in the first half. We wound up putting up 43 in the second half. So it wasn't our typical offensive output that we're used to. Like I think Morgan had 23 that game, and Imani had 20. Imani Smith. Other than that, we didn't really get much help from the rest of the supporting cast there. So that was always tough, to win a game when you only get 2 people, doing the bulk of your scoring. Morgan, we're used to doing it all year, but we just didn't have anybody else that stepped up that night to help her out.
So, and Smith, as we talked about, every game is getting better and better and better. She put 20 up. And then your next leading scorer came off the bench with McCain with 7.
Right, yeah.
And so, and then if you look at Downs, had 6, Cracknell with 2, Debate with 2, Hyson with 4 for a total of 64. And we had 2 players foul out.
Yeah.
So that made that short bench even shorter.
Yeah, it was pretty short.
Now, you talked about Nwagwu with 23. She also led rebounding.
Yep, she's been doing that most of the year, right, Morgan?
Has 8 rebounds, just has a nose for the ball. She just has a tendency to know where it's going to go and goes in, and she's out rebounding your bigs also in the game here. So now, one of the things we will talk a little bit about is Lady Commodores, both teams turned it over 16 times.
16 times. It's funny, we watched the film, right, Morgan?
Yeah.
How many did we turn over in the first half?
Wasn't it like 14?
14 turnovers in the first half.
Well, you corrected it in the second half.
Corrected it in the second, but unfortunately I would have liked to corrected it in the first there a little bit, but we turned the ball over a little too much, and we didn't score, and we missed layups, just simple things that we could have done. But
and you go back and you look, this was a 4-point game. Now you're talking about possessions differences, in here and not and that. The other issue, Portia just pretty much, if her feet was in the paint, it went in. She scored at will, finished with 29.
Yeah, she had a career day, and that's kind of things that happen on the road when somebody has a career day, and you don't do the things that you normally expected to do, and a couple calls don't go your way here or there. Next thing you know, you're in a dogfight, and next thing you know, you lose a game by 4 points.
So at that stage, we'll jump in and let's talk about the panel conference standings, because right now it's a huge week for y'all. And we have some big games coming up. Northwest is clinched and panel conference champ. So at 9-2, they still have a game left. Chipola will finish with us Wednesday night. They have a game left. We have 2 games left. They're 7-4. Pensacola 5-5, Gulf Coast 5-5, and Tallahassee 0-10. So this game, we got Chipola coming in here. That's a huge game. Now, we beat them back at home when we played them on January 17th, 76-67, and what was probably considered an upset game.
Yeah, it was.
Because I give Coach a hard time, Morgan, sometimes. In July, we didn't know if we'd have a team. And then we thought, well, if we're going to have a team, let's just please don't get beat bad every game. Let's don't look like this 0-10. And we're sitting here right now talking about y'all making it into the state tournament. And so we lost on February 2nd at their place, 63-51. So, but how big is this game to you, Morgan?
I'd say it's very big because it can determine if we go to state, and then that also helps with recruiting and stuff. So I feel like we just need to win both of these games so we can all get like better exposure. So,
and if you win both of these games, then you have to get one of those at-large bids. Right. Well, maybe it could be real crazy because if we win out, then
we're 7-5 with Chipola at 7-5, and then I think we would have a playoff game.
So, well, in that
for
case,
the second spot.
Well, in that case, if you look at that could be interesting, a playoff game, and then you got Pensacola still. Floating around,
and they have to go to Northwest.
They got to go to Northwest. They got Tallahassee Wednesday at their place. You know what'll happen there. But if we win out, this is Panhandle Conference basketball. You never know who's in.
It's the way it goes
until the last game. And so now, if we look at Chipola, 16-9 overall. That's us. I better go back. Got to dig down in the stack deep enough.
I think they're 22-5.
They're 22-5, 7-4 in Panhandle Conference, ranked number 2 in the state coaches poll, ranked 10th in the NJCA national poll. But they were ranked high like that when we knocked them off here before. So, can we do this again?
I think we can.
All right. And what's it going to take to do that?
Everybody playing at 100%, and everybody knowing, like, treating it like we're playing a Northwest team. So we come out fast and play well and fast the entire game and not just for half the game. And
so, and do that. Sometimes some of the Lady Commodores will make a mistake and they won't make it past half court. If they do that Wednesday night, we're going to have a big problem. But on the other hand, if we will get after every loose ball in play and because y'all have the ability to make a nice run at the national tournament. Because if you can get to the national tournament, some of your first games will be easier than your Panhandle Conference games because of how hard it is to play in the Panhandle Conference.
Have you heard that before?
So now, when you transferred in, did you expect Panhandle Conference to be this tough?
Not at all.
Not at all? So
it was funny. Her mom said to me when I was recruiting her, she goes, "You didn't tell me this conference was this good. It was like this every night." I go, "I didn't?" I said, "I probably told Morgan. She just forgot because she just doesn't care. She'll just show up and play ball. It doesn't matter who's out there."
Who's out there and looking.
That's what we love about her.
Because let's just look at Region 8. That's really the state of Florida. Northwest 6th, Chipola 10th, Eastern Florida State 17th, Florida Southwestern 18th, Gulf Coast 22nd, Pensacola is 24th. And there's been times all 5 Panhandle Conference teams have been all nationally ranked. And then we just beat each other up and moves us around. But playing in the Panhandle Conference now, does that help prepare you to move on, to be better? Where do you go from here?
I think playing in the Panhandle it was different than I expected, but it's also made me better. So I feel like once we make it to state and then nationals, it's just gonna be like we just need to play as hard as we can in order to keep going. I feel like it'll be, like you said, easy in the beginning, and then it'll start to like the competition will get harder. So I just think it'll just make us all better as a whole.
Yeah, because usually we go out there. We've been out there before, and we play some teams, and then you play a Panhandle Conference team because they'll be on. Usually we end up on. There's 3 of us out there a lot of times, and so there's 2 on one side, 1 on the other. So you play a Panhandle Conference team, and then in the Final Four you may play another Panhandle Conference team. To fool around.
Eventually, if you keep winning, you run into a Panhandle team somewhere.
Because I think the last 6 national championships have come out of the Panhandle Conference.
Yeah, how about that, Morgan?
So when you go out there and look at the banner, it's pretty impressive. They're lined up there, and they do that. So how did you get here? Where'd you come from, Morgan?
I transferred in from Auburn.
From Auburn.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Wow, that's pretty good a program. And so, that explains
Not
why
bad.
That's why we're not worrying about just not having a win in the panel conference. We're sitting here talking about being able to get in that state tournament. So, and a lot of what you've done in contributing has definitely helped us. In my opinion, you make the Lady Commodores go. Now it's good to see Smith and some of the rest of us come along, but you need to be that floor leader out there and push and bang and do. Now, Boyd, huge loss for Lady Doors.
Yeah.
Who's going to make up those 12 points?
Nope, so far it's been Imani.
Yeah.
Huh?
Monty's took that role though, because you already scoring 20-something.
Yeah.
So, but in that case, that was a huge loss for us, because you put another big in there and give him another player.
Yeah.
It makes it a little easier on him, but.
Well, that's the thing that people, will forget if you look at our team. I mean, she averages 20 a game. I think you're third in the country right now with points averaging, in the country. And then you take Anaya, who averages 15 in conference. Sure, that helps her. And then teams can't key in as much on her and gives her more opportunities. So not having Naya obviously really hurts, and but it hurts her, hurts me, hurts the team, hurts everybody. But like we said, and we've talked about before, other people got to step up. And Imani's been stepping up in that role. And when we get one or two others to step up, we usually win those games. But when we don't, that makes it a lot harder on Morgan and myself, to figure out how to win a game. But it's nice to always count on the 20 points a game from Morgan.
Yeah.
And I think she's done a good job with that.
And before the show started, we talked about it. We'll all look at the score sheet. Wow, she had 23.
Yeah.
She gets them so quietly. You just don't know they're there. And when you add them up, you do that. Now, we play Wednesday night, 5:30 and 7:30 against Chipola. Then we got to go to Tallahassee and finish out in the Eagle Dome.
Yeah.
Now, right now, they haven't won a game, so that'd be an easy game for y'all to look past and get upset over there.
We won't do that, right?
So in that case, because I think they'll get somebody. Now, hopefully, I hope it's Pensacola.
So do we.
Yeah.
So right now, we're all Eagles fans tomorrow night or Wednesday night when we play, cheering them on. But they will get somebody. I just hope it's not us.
As long as it's not us, right?
And so,
Morgan?
because that game will be important too, because this thing is going to come down, and then there's a committee involved and all kinds of crazy things.
Yeah.
So we'll look and see. But the main thing we need to do is just make sure that we win the next two ball games. Is everybody healthy that can play? Or we still banged up a little bit, nursing injuries? Or
Yeah, everybody that we know, right? Everybody but Naya right now. So other than that, we got everybody else.
So and we talking about not seeing her any more this year? Maybe at the state tournament.
If we can make a state tournament run or a national tournament run, her injury is it's pain tolerant, so if she feels okay to go. It's just, with knees, you never know. So if she's good, hopefully she can come back and give Morgan a little help. And, if not, Morgan will just have to average 30. No big deal. All right, Morgan?
Any parting remarks? We appreciate you being on here. So this definitely makes the show interesting. More interesting than us two sitting here.
Much better.
So you've improved this whole show today. So we're going to give you the last remarks.
You get the last words, Morgan.
Well, I would just want to thank you guys for having me. I actually enjoyed it. It's been fun.
All right.
For Morgan Robinson-Nwagwu, Coach Rory Kuhn, and I'm James Baxley. Thanks for watching, Commodore fans, and we'll see you next time on the Commodore Sports Network.